You guys, we have a 7-time world champion, the woman who broke Jackie Joyner-Kersee's long jump American record in the building, going to talk to us today about her life, her journey, her successes, what she's up to now. But you have to tune in because this woman has done it all.
What's up? Welcome back to Aspire Higher with Charles and Ivana Bailey. We got somebody special.
Oh, yeah.
I wish she was in the building.
I know.
But she's still in the building.
Yes.
I mean, it's one of the greatest to ever do what she does.
Come on. Talk about it.
The GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
We call her B. Reese the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best long jumpers, period, in the world.
Come on.
I mean, all the way back from genetics to today. You can see she still got it.
Mm-hmm.
Girl can hoop. Girl
Yep.
is a great athlete, but she's a great human being.
Yeah.
And now she's a great coach. Brittney Reese.
Woohoo!
Gold medalist.
Yes.
NCAA All-American.
Uh-huh.
SEC champion.
Yes.
Multi-over. You can tell them how many times. In fact, in honor of my girl, I had to rock my hardware since y'all don't know it really happened.
Oh
When I be
my
telling these stories, they
gosh.
don't believe me. We won the SEC championship my senior year on the same day.
Wow.
We ran it.
awesome.
And if I hadn't
That's
strained my
awesome.
hamstring, I know everybody likes to talk about if they had, I would have done the NCAA back-to-back too.
Okay. All right.
That's just me saying that.
Makes you feel good about
Brittany,
yourself,
so glad to have you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about this. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you're very welcome. I see you've been busy now. Earlier, you were walking past the screen. You doing something? What you doing?
I was checking my mail. The mailman came out, so let me run and check.
Oh my gosh, man. That's all right. Special delivery. Probably another gold or some sponsorship package.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. You got some athletes, man. You're doing some good things where you are. You're in
Talk
Gulfport,
about it.
Mississippi, right?
Yeah, I'm in Gulfport, back home, where it all started for me. So it's like a dream come true, coming back and giving those kids my knowledge and seeing them be successful and do what they're gonna do.
That's incredible, man. So talk to us real quick. Let's try our best to go all the way back to the beginning since we're starting here.
Yep.
Gulfport. You literally like my hometown, right? We really came from the same spot. I'm D'Iberville, she's Gulfport, Biloxi,
It's right there.
Annex.
I know.
Gulfport's the same place. So that ought to tell you something. If you're looking to recruit some championship level athletes that could grow up to be legendary,
though.
you may want to start right at the Gulf Coast. I'm not going to say any more than that. But tell them about the struggle. All right, did you always know you were great, or did someone else see this greatness in you before you even got there?
Good question.
I'd probably say someone seen it in me before I saw it in myself. I didn't really think I was that good until I got to Ole Miss.
Wow.
What?
See? Oh,
Yeah.
nice. That's
I mean,
true.
I wasn't I was a basketball first type of
Right.
athlete,
Yeah.
and track and field was just something that I did on the side. Just something that I just I knew I was good at it, but I didn't know how good I was until I got to Ole Miss and started winning things.
She said till I
Winning
got to Ole
things.
Miss and started winning things.
Actually,
Just a
Joe
few
Coach
things.
Walker was the one that made me realize like you got a lot of potential in this event, and
That's
you might need to go
incredible.
turn pro. He the one that told me to go turn pro.
Wow, man! Shout out to Coach Joe Walker.
Come on.
One of the
Yes.
greatest
Legend.
men. He really is, man.
Yes.
And he had this incredible way of coaching
Yeah.
that I don't know would work today, but it worked for us. But it was
yeah.
so simplistic in his approach, and it was full of wisdom, and he never overcoached. I think that was one of the things that made him one of the greatest. If it was
made
good,
it
it was
fun.
good.
Right.
If it wasn't, it wasn't. And that was really how it was.
That's
Yeah,
simple.
We wasn't stressed. I tell you that.
No, we weren't.
We wasn't like LSU stressed.
Wow.
Oh, now they
Shots
were stressed.
fired.
Yeah, it could be over for you tomorrow.
No way.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wasn't stressed
Absolutely.
about scholarships. and
So you,
Oh, yeah. Scholarship's true.
so you went to Ole Miss. Coach obviously pulled you in and told you this is the event for you. But were you winning state championships as a high school athlete in track? Because even now I'm not. Okay, so talk about those periods of time. You had a coach, Coach Prince. He was like an enemy to us, man. Coach was tough.
Do you know he still comes to our track meets and still shoots the gun and stuff? He's involved heavily.
Wow, man. Make sure you tell him
Oh,
I said
fun
what's up.
fact, at state, we had states probably 2 weeks ago. So my girl obviously won the long jump.
Congrats.
We had a girl from D'Iberville get second in the long jump, and we had a girl from Harrison Central get third. So the Gulf Coast took the entire women's girls long jump.
Wow. Nuts. That's incredible,
so proud
man.
to look
Yeah,
at
I know.
like,
I know.
mean.
And then you know how people do it too when they know they're great. She's like, so we had this this girl. Yeah, she definitely took first, second, third.
She won the long and
best of all
I don't want
America.
to brag on the two much, but she won the long and the high jump.
Oh,
the triple jump.
Coach,
Jump
that
long
means
and
you learned
triple
some things then,
Wow,
Coach.
look at this.
Well, take us through Ole Miss then. All right, let's go back and look at where you came from, right? So at Ole Miss, you start dominating. You earned the nickname B. Reese the Beast. I'll never forget you getting ready to jump. B. Reese the Beast. B. Reese
like
the Beast. B. Reese the Beast. Joker would take off, jump 27 feet, 9 inches.
Stop it.
I wish. I'll be drug tested to this day. That was it.
I believe you. Well, talk to us. What are some of your greatest memories looking back on our college experience, but particularly your college experience as a track athlete?
I would say the team atmosphere was what I when I turned pro was what I missed the most. We worked hard, but it was like a family. And when I turned pro and I realized I couldn't really practice with everybody, I was like, dang, this kind of sucks. I gotta like train by myself. Like I don't have no, but I was still friends with, a bunch of the team members.
Sure.
I was still living in Oxford, but the team atmosphere, that love, all that just kind of, sucked.
Yeah, that's a hard feeling, man.
Yeah, it was tough for me.
Yeah. What was your motivation while you were going through it?
At first, when I first turned pro, it was more so of things like you're good at it. Like you're really good at it. So just do it. But after I lost in 2008, my first Olympic trials, at my first Olympics, I was like, dang, I don't like losing. So I was like,
I don't like this.
It's time for me to if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all out and I'm going to do it the right way. So that's when I became more involved in the sport and started being like, you know what? I'm going to take it serious and I'm going to, so I went back to Coach Walker and I was like, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. And he was like, yeah. He just bought in.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history.
How long was Coach Walker your coach for in the Olympic journey?
So I turned pro in 2008, in 2012, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's a long time.
So from Olympic
man.
to Olympic.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember one
Beijing
time
to London.
I was so proud
That's
of you,
awesome.
Coach Walker, when he moved from Ole Miss. Not to talk about him too long, but again, we had the honor of that person.
Honor.
But I do remember he was so proud of you coming back with that gold medal. One, because of how you did it. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't understand about Brittney Reese. She had this habit that kind of became her signature.
Okay.
Where she would be in the finals,
best
jumper, no doubt. She would scratch the first jump.
Okay.
Then she scratched the second jump. And then it'd be like Brittney Reese with her last attempt to see if she can secure this medal spot. And then she would go break the American record. I mean, you talk about
intentional?
I don't know what you were doing.
No?
And it followed me. Like that.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That's what I'm saying. It followed me throughout my career. And another fun thing, like my athletes, I feel like they take on what I've done. So like a state championship, my girl fouled the first, and I was like, okay, cool, that was a good jump. She fouled the second. I'm like, all right, now you got it.
This is it.
Her, when she goes out and secures the winning jump, it's like, yeah, I'm rubbing off on y'all too much. I got to get back some. Like, y'all been watching videos or something, because ain't no way y'all sitting up here doing the exact same thing that I did. But I never got to where I was just like, okay, first jump, go out. And that's the approach.
Right,
it's always the approach to go in there and be like, okay, first jump, go out, boom, put the pressure on them, make them chase me.
Yeah, that's right. But she's
Dang,
like, I
that
couldn't do
didn't
it.
even
I couldn't do it.
So when did that break? Like, what was it that made that happen for you?
I don't know. Like, I think it was like a bunch of nerves.
Got it.
Because I look good in the run-ups and
Yeah.
warm-ups and things like that. I look real nice, like cool, not fouling, not none of that. Get out there, run and jump, foul. I'm like, oh my Lord, here we go.
Maybe it was
so, I mean, it just was one of those things. And sometimes it happens in a final, sometimes it'll happen in qualifications, because I remember there's a time in qualification where I was the 12th. You only take top 12 to the final.
Right.
And I was the 12th jumper.
I saw it.
And my coach, he cussed me out something smooth. Like, that was the first time I've ever heard him, like, actually, because me and my coach after Coach Walker, we were only 10 years apart. So me and him had like a bond, like we was like brother and sister type thing. So, he cussed me out.
Oh, he lit you up.
He lit me up. I was like, oh shoot, he for real.
But I think that helps
together.
though. I wish that I had that too, and I feel that way to some degree. I wish that I had someone like that would light me up when the pressure moment came. Because sometimes it's very hard to find that within yourself.
Right.
And you're already great.
Right.
It makes me think about Jackie Joyner-Kersee and Bobby Kersee, which a lot of people still talk about to this day, because he will light you up just because you did well.
But I was around him a lot.
No, she had stories.
But I remember that one time where she was about to jump, and he said, because her leg was hurting, he said, "You get on that runway, and I don't care if your leg breaks off. You run and you jump." And she ends up setting the American record, which you later broke, of course. But talk about what you were about to say.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yeah.
This woman broke Jackie Joyner-Kersee's record?
I mean,
her record?
Brittney,
like that? Can we honor her?
Man,
can we get more on? This is a woman here that is representing America that broke a GOAT her record.
Man, I'm telling you.
This is Brittney Reese. Like, we got to give homage to this
You don't
woman.
know.
That's
I'm telling you. I
Come
know.
on, Britt. I'll flex for
I
you,
loved
okay?
it too, because me and Jackie, I had the opportunity to be able to call her when I needed her.
Wow.
So, and she was like a mentor to me. So she basically was rooting me on to break her records.
Get out of here.
I love that about her, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
This is beautiful. So the relationships of people that sewed into your life, they really did push you to greatness. Yeah. Like everyone that noticed you have something special, they weren't afraid to pour into you and let you shine. That's beautiful. How did you, through those times, even though you had the support of legends, how were you able to stay anchored even when you got frustrated and the pressure was too much?
Yeah, so for me, for example, I tore my hip labrum in 2013.
Wow.
And once I rehabbed and got myself back to where I had, a lot of people don't know, when you're on a contract, you got to get the meets in.
They don't care.
So under my Nike contract, I think I had to get six meets in. So it was kind of more like a rushed rehab to be able to get my 6 meets in, so I won't get reduced on my money. So I'm competing 680, not me at all. Kept jumping 680, kept jumping 680. I was like, you know what, this is embarrassing. Like, for me, it's not what I want, my type of level of jumping. The following year, I think I had to buy for World Championships. Didn't even get out in the qualifying round.
Wow.
Ended up having a back spasm, which was the first time in my career I had never been on the podium, which is still the first time in my career I've never been on the podium.
Crazy.
Wow.
And so my back spasmed up, couldn't compete. Went back and I contemplating retiring, just, So my coach recommended me to a life coach that he was talking to.
Talk about
So me and her formed a bond, and basically came to the terms of that you didn't want to quit. I mean, you didn't want to retire. You just hate losing.
Yeah.
So me and her worked mentally.
Yeah.
At least we got to where we was working like 3 times out of the week.
Good.
To where we were focusing my mindset back on being
right,
bringing out the inner beast.
That's right.
Being to where you was back, and I got it together.
You sure did.
I always thank her. Yeah.
That's a blessing, man.
Support system.
And I think that's incredible.
I had some strong ones.
Yeah, only the best.
Yeah, I mean, just being honest.
Hi, Jackie Joyner-Kersee. How you doing today? I'm having a bad day. Okay, this is what I need to do. That's you. Like, what?
Yeah.
But I also love that you were able to receive that type of encouragement. So there's 2 things you said that I want to highlight for our listeners. One thing is that Brittney had never really experienced loss. And I was listening to Vusit, I think it's Kimbaleo, if I didn't say his name correctly, forgive me. But he was talking about sometimes winning can be toxic. Because if you've spent all of your life winning, you start to define your life by all of your wins. And then when you lose, you instantly lose your identity because all you've ever known is winning.
Wow.
And what I picked up from what you were saying is that even though you're at the highest level of sport, literally the highest and the number one, that moment for you probably was one of the greatest pivotal points in your life. Because instead of B. Reese being the beast that she can depend on, she had to actually be somewhat of a lamb so other people can help encourage her and bring that back out. You actually got in touch with both sides of yourself, and it made you an even better champion because not only did you come back, but you came back and won.
Wow.
Yes.
I'll never forget. Yeah, come on. This Brittney, she was all, come on.
The crazy thing about it is when I tore I knew exactly when I tore it. I tore it in June. I was in Rome competing. Came off, kind of felt funny. And July, we had to keep going. I told him, I was training at the Liberty Training Center in California.
Yeah.
So at that time, I get free rehab, free everything. I go get an MRI. They see nothing. I say, okay, cool. I'm throwing icy hot on it.
Right.
Advils.
Right.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
Of course.
World Championships come around. I'm popping pills, rubbing. I end up winning. And I was like, okay, cool. I just shut my season down right after Worlds. I was like, cool. Let me just, I just might be fatigued. My body might be a little wear and tear, a little tired. Took a month off, which is something I usually don't do. I usually take like 3 weeks off, and I'm gradually building myself back up for the next season. Took like a month off. Second week of practice, boom, it hits right back. Okay, cool. Go get another MRI. This time they put the dye in there, and they see that I tore it. So rehab was from November, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, around April, I was back jumping.
Wow.
And it was like intense rehab because I knew what I had to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, World Championships that following year. So.
She had that mission on her mind.
Of course.
Oh,
did the MRI show a tear?
It did.
It did?
Partial tear. Now, it wasn't to where I had to have surgery.
Right.
But we had that year off following. So I was like, let me go ahead and get it because there's nothing coming up. And this is the perfect time to get that surgery, rehab, and see where I'm at. But they typically tell you it takes about 2 years to get right, and they did not lie. It took me like 2 years just to get back to my
just like the Achilles. There's some things, and labrums don't heal on their own that way, especially at our age.
It takes a while.
Yes,
it takes a while. But, I wanted to touch on something that you mentioned a few seconds ago. You were talking about your contract. And I think this would be a great place to talk because we have a lot of leaders in sport. We have a lot of athletes, Division I athletes, even professional athletes that watch this show. And one of the things that people aren't truly understanding of, not just in track, but in the world, is how these contracts work. So talk a little bit about your experience, obviously the good, but also some of the challenges that might help someone listening have a better understanding if this is their dream or they don't understand.
Yeah, so track and field contracts are probably, structured a little bit different than other sports. Because track and field, there's so many events, and in that regards, that particular event is basically how you get paid. So a jumper is not going to get paid like a sprinter or a distance run.
Right, totally different.
So throwers and jumpers are kind of in the same mixture. Okay. But so the good and the bad about it is it's the track versus the field. Right. So the track will get this, the field is going to get this.
Yeah, I get it.
So which kind of sucks. And the only way I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the highest paid field athletes. I think I was the highest paid field athlete. But
deserve, though.
Look what I had to do to get that,
Right.
While there's kids coming out of college that are running, a nice little time.
Right.
Ain't made a team, ain't did anything.
Nothing.
And they're handed, probably 2 times more than what I achieved. So that's one of the downfalls of track and field contracts.
Sure.
Then there's reductions, and in this I was Nike, so I don't know how on Adidas or Puma now how their contracts are, but I know for us like Nike, we had reductions, so they can reduce you if you wasn't top something in the world, like top 15 in the world, top 20 in the world. They can reduce you if you didn't meet the qualifications for like meets. Like I told you, I had to make 6 to 8. You got to do that. There's reduction for not making the team.
Wow.
So there's a lot of stipulations in these contracts, and I was, I trained with kids that didn't have contracts.
Yeah, of course.
Now, and the thing is, I will always tell them, don't rush into nothing because Nike will give you some uniform. They'll give you a top.
Right.
They'll give you something.
Right.
They'll give you anything, but don't. But the thing is, you want to fight for yourself, and they blessed enough to have an NIL deal now. But
right.
Fight for yourself. Like if you can wear somebody else's shirt or wear anything else, and you believe in yourself. So we have a long jumper right now who's basically doing just that. She's done made teams, and the only thing that she's missing right now, and the reason why she's not going to get getting paid right now, is because she hasn't won anything. She hasn't placed in the finals yet. Like she has, I don't think she's made a final yet in like a world championships or Olympics. So you gotta do those things. It's like a lot of stuff you're gonna have to do to get paid. So again, like bet on yourself.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like don't go get the latest Nike kit because everybody else around you got it. Fight for yourself and go run out there, throw on the basic look thing and make the team. And I'm telling, don't chase the money. The money gonna come.
Right. Right.
You doing what you're supposed to do. The money gonna come.
I believe that.
Go out there and fight for yourself and go and compete.
And that's it. But how difficult was it knowing from even the labrum and the injury, going back in, winning, but then knowing the reality is you can always get reduced? Like, what was your stabilizing moment throughout your career?
Sure.
My thing was, like I just said earlier, I didn't chase the money because I knew what I could do.
Of course.
I knew that there was not another long jumper in front of me.
Yeah.
Nike doesn't really sign too many track. I think it was like at the time it was me and Tiana Bartoletta.
Yeah.
And we are the only.
That's right. Y'all always
we the only two Nike jumpers that they got, and nobody was really. In America, nobody was really touching us because we was going back and forth. She would win, I would win. Like we was going back and forth for the past 10 years plus, whatever.
That's a long time.
So I really never really was, and I had a really good relationship with Nike to where I'm pretty sure I wasn't going to get reduced like that anyway.
Yeah, thank God, right? I understand.
Anybody else? Oh, they're like sprinters. They'll sign 10 sprinters.
Yeah.
But just know. You don't make that team.
Cut.
You don't get top or whatever, your money gonna get reduced.
Jeez, that's a lot of pressure.
And that's what I was gonna ask her about. And you see that?
It's a lot of pressure.
Jeez.
A lot of people don't truly understand or even appreciate when they see you all or anyone on the Olympic level. All they see is, look at the commercial, look at this here, or they made it and they got a gold, but they don't realize the mental strain. And some people will say things like, well, that's just sports, suck it up. That's what you signed up for, but not necessarily because sometimes you don't even know what you're signing up for.
Correct.
You have no clue. We don't have anyone educating young athletes about what it really means to be a professional before you even step toward that. So for you, you had to learn. It was almost like a new education, a school of hard knocks. So how are you educating athletes now as you coach them? Are you preparing them mentally with that, or is it mostly focused on the athletics? Are you guiding them to understand the pressures that'll come with their dream?
Yeah, so the thing with my kids, so my track team I have basketball, I have football, I have volleyball, I have soccer. I have somebody in the band. I have somebody I have all different sports. And I can probably count on one hand how many kids that were actually just track and field kids. So, and my girl that's signing tomorrow, she's a track and field kid.
Can you tell us where she's going?
She's going to Hines.
All right, now, baby.
Yeah, she's going to Hines.
Congratulations.
So, and then my long jumper, she has a lot of offers, so she's awesome. A junior, so she'll be straight. But I instill in them. And then one of the coaches that coaches with me, he played football at the University of Missouri, and the reason why he didn't turn pro, he got invited, but COVID hit.
Man, that messed up.
He wasn't able to go. So he's a football coach and track coach here. He has our school record in the 100. But we both, talk with the kids all the time about turning pro. And I tell my own son.
Yeah.
And we had a whole conversation in the car. He's mad because, my coach, he don't know how to sub. He don't know how to. He got me running with the twos, and I was like, why you worry about that?
Right.
Yeah.
It is May.
Relax.
Y'all are in spring camp.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why are you worried about that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, focus on yourself. Focus what you're supposed to do now. And I have to constantly remind him, out of all these kids in the state, maybe 1% of y'all gonna go pro.
Right.
And that's the
Maybe.
I
reality.
really want to be honest.
Right. Come on.
Really honest.
And I don't sugarcoat nothing with him. We don't sugarcoat nothing with our track kids neither.
That's wonderful.
1% or 2% of y'all are going to turn pro.
That's it.
Maximum.
That's true.
And I always tell my son, have a backup plan. So
Right.
for him, yes, his dream is to turn pro, but on the back end, he's in classes to become a welder and things like that. So we working towards the second goal while we focusing on the first goal at hand right now. So, but yeah, I just try to instill them, let them know that it's not easy to turn pro.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's more than just being good at football or more than being good at basketball help you turn pro. So, it's great that I'm coming to be able to be down there and give them that knowledge, so they're not their expectations are high,
right?
But there's a sense of, okay, I still need to do this.
That's right. Right.
There you go, Britt.
You know, Brittney, speaking of expectations, was there anything that caught you off guard before retirement or even after retirement? You are a multi-level champion, but when life pivots from the very thing that you excelled at, how did you perform in life as a champion?
Were you ready?
Yeah. I had been on my own since I signed with college. I had, was living on my own and things like that. But life really did smack me in the face after a while because I'm a mama's girl, and I had to grow up.
Yeah.
I had to do. I can't call my mama. Can you make me a doctor's appointment?
Yeah. No.
I had, I had to grow up.
Right.
And so like when I moved to California, it really smacked me in the face because I'm not even near my mom. I have family in LA. I was born in California, so I have two sisters in California, and I have uncle out there. So they are all in LA, but I'm in San Diego, which is like 2.5 hours, not too bad. But I had to grow up. And then, my son, I adopted. He's originally my godson, but I adopted him.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
I moved him after 2 years of being up there. I moved him with me.
Wow.
So now I'm juggling being a mom,
exactly,
athlete,
yes,
and coach because I coached at a community college up there.
Wow.
So I had to do what I had to do.
Right.
So all while trying to, chase my dreams, making sure my son gets what he needs and making sure my athletes get what they need. So I'm just pouring out so much energy. Yeah. But, I wouldn't change it for the better.
Wow.
That's awesome, man.
So becoming a mom, would you say that is the biggest championship you've ever won?
Oh, most definitely.
I love that.
And he's the main reason why I could have kept going.
Yeah.
But he's the main reason why I kind of want to retire because growing up, my mom and my grandfather and my sisters were in the stands to watch me.
Right.
And I know how important, I know how that felt for me.
Right.
When you have a child and, the kids their parents in the stand, they turn around, they see them.
Right.
It was times where I'm gone during the summer. I'm on the plane here and there. So once track season starts, I'm gone. But for him, AAU things he wanted to do, basketball things he was trying. When he moved with me, we was in that stage of let's find what you good at type of thing. So he was in karate, he was in swimming, he was in baseball, he was in basketball, he was in everything. We trying to figure out what you like. I even had him in soccer. And come to find out, he did some AAU basketball and things like that, and a lot of baseball. And I wanted to be able to sit down because he was getting older to where I know I wasn't going to be able to make those games.
Sure.
And, it made me feel the type where I was like, because I know he values my opinion a lot.
Sure.
I may get on to him a lot, but he values what I say. He listens and he goes about his business. But he loves to see me in the stands watching him. I'm at every game, whether he get in or not, I'm there.
Wow. So you sacrificed then. You said you weren't
you
necessarily. Yeah, you could have kept going.
Oh, yeah. I had some more in me.
Wow.
I had another 2 years in me.
Wow.
I stopped early.
Years.
I was supposed to stop in 2020.
Most athletes are aware.
What did you say?
I was supposed to stop in 2020, but COVID hit. So.
Wow. That's right. So that trade was for legacy then.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That sacrifice in being a mom and wanting to be responsible and take care and dedicate your life to raise up your child. I mean, there's no greater sacrifice than that. That is so beautiful and
And
honorable.
it was nothing else for me to accomplish. I felt like I've done everything but break the world record. And
I mean, she
Yeah, and it was coming, but at the same time, she's like, it's all good.
it's all I ain't mad at it.
I ain't
But
tripping. Let me ask you a question about that, because this is something I know you're aware of. What do you think about what they're doing in track and field with the long jump in particular, with the long jump zone?
explain it.
Okay, so for those of you who are watching, if you are a track enthusiast, you know what I'm saying. But if you have missed this, what the Olympic Committee is deciding to do is to create this zone. It's kind of like what you see in the relay zone, but it's a small little block, if you want to say, where you can jump anywhere within that parameter. Now, all of our years,
No fouling?
all of our years, you had this board, what was it, 8 inches thick or whatever it is?
yeah, about 8, yeah.
And you have to hit it or you're behind it
Right.
in order for it to count.
Right. Not
Now,
over it.
if you're anywhere in this zone, let's say it's 2 feet or 3 feet, the jump counts.
That's not fair. All these years they want to change it? Come on.
And it takes the mental out of it.
Of
Bro,
course.
let me tell you.
Of
Takes the mental out of
course.
it.
Because you have to think about something like this, like a Brittney Reese.
Right.
So assuming that they had those zones when you were jumping, you probably would have got the world record.
Easily.
But
Easily.
but do you
Right.
understand how much of a disadvantage that is for anyone who truly understands
Yep.
the sport now that they've made this change or they're going to?
Mhm.
You've taken away one of the key skills and what makes this difficult.
Yeah.
People just see somebody running down the track and jumping.
Right.
But they don't understand the timing, the mechanics, every step.
Speed.
You know the stride length,
Right.
you know the marks, the acceleration pattern, you know how to do it. You have become a
Oh, the
master.
acceleration patterns that'll mess it up.
You have become a master at your event, so much so that within centimeters, you can come within the edge of scratching and becoming a foul jumper and still jumping your best.
Jeez. I did this.
So we use a lot of science.
Absolutely.
When I was in training in California, we had people come out and we had this board, makeshift board, and under it was
Like a force plate?
force plates.
There you go.
And we used all those, and even when we go to like USA Championships,
Yeah.
they have cameras, they have anything. They can project, even on the foul jumps, they can project what it would have been.
Oh, man.
Wow.
There's countless
There's
times
so many times I would have been.
I have jumped 760
Jeez.
off of a foul.
Break that into feet.
So
though.
Tell them
that's
for
the
the
case,
viewers. What you say?
I said, so if they're doing that now, then that definitely would have been in the realm of the
Now,
world record.
Easily.
she
To
was
break-
asking to
yes.
break it down, but for most people that don't know, can you do the conversion really fast, or you just want me to go ahead and give a guesstimation? Because I know you're pretty good. You said me do it?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, okay. So 760 is roughly, was that 25
Mhm.
and 4.5 inches or 5, somewhere around there?
Somewhere around there.
Like just think of any female in the world running anywhere and jumping over 25 feet.
That's insane. That's
Some people
insane.
can't even fathom how
No.
far that is. When they hear it, it's like, okay, whatever. No, you don't get it.
And then they try to
You
do it.
don't
They jump
get it.
12 feet.
No, if they try to do it, they'll break something and tear their whole life apart. You know what I mean? Speaking of tearing lives apart, Britt, I know you were joking a little bit earlier, but you were talking about you still like the hoop, right? You still got a little hoop dream in you.
Man.
God, look at her
Her
face.
back. She touched
No,
her back
wait,
quick
wait,
though.
wait,
She was
wait.
like, ah.
No, she look at her. She points to her eye.
So I joined. I did it last year. It wasn't as bad.
Okay.
This year, I joined an adult league, and it's 18 and over, and these women are going hardcore. Like I
WNBA gonna
think I
come
hit
pick
the
them up
floor
tomorrow.
last night at least 4 to 5 times. I had to take an Epsom salt bath last night.
Wow.
They are hard, man.
You picked a good hobby.
Playing next year. If all these women playing, I don't know.
Forget it.
Well
Man.
done.
Forget it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my knee scraped up. I got poked in the eye.
Oh.
My pinky finger is jammed. My thumb bruised.
Different than track,
them
huh?
going too
Well,
hard
I'm
for
just
me.
saying she's still living the dream.
That's it.
Or at
That's
least
it.
it's
I'm just
reminding
trying
her.
to stay active.
Well, you keep playing with these moms. You may not be active after long. You better be
For
careful.
real, I'm gonna go back to Pilates. I'm gonna go over there with them
Pilates,
moms.
stretch it out. Stretch it out. You hear me? You know, how important is that for you now?
Man.
We talked about your Olympic career. We talked about your growth. We talked about, I mean, you being a champion for life.
Yeah, she's
and then
one of the
also
best.
pouring into legacy and sacrificing your dream for also the continuation of the dream. For your son. But how important is it to find a healthy outlet after athletics? Many professionals, they'll try to go back into the
Talk
sport
about it, Coach.
because that's
Yeah.
what they're rooted in and that's their identity.
Mhm.
But for you to go back to even basketball, what does that look like for your life? And why does it give you joy or happiness or contentment?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but basketball being my first love, I was gonna always, kind of stay in that sport also.
Mhm.
So that's really one of the reasons that I really wanted to join the league. They was like, "Oh, come play, come play." And I was like, and my cousins on the team, and like a lot of my former teammates are on the team, and people that I grew up with, we're all on the same team, or playing against each other. So it's actually just kind of some fun
Gotcha.
alongside with it.
Yeah.
But after I retired, I took a whole year off doing anything.
Wow.
I did no sport, no
Good.
training,
Good.
no nothing. I sat back and I just enjoyed
relaxed.
life for like a year, and then
Why?
gradually picked it back up. So,
Why
going
did
to
you feel
like
that was
playing
important?
fitness now and doing things like that.
Why did you feel that was important to take a year off?
Because I had been going since 2000. I'll say since the 4th grade, I was doing something.
Wow.
I've never missed a year where I didn't do sports.
Wow.
And even like I said, my surgery. I mean, I was out from November to April, but
Right. You were
back
still
at
right
it.
back in it.
Right.
all
back
the
in
stuff
it.
that's
It was
all the
never
sport.
COVID hit. That changed nothing. We still
Wow.
was training.
Yeah.
We was outside, but I still was,
Correct.
training, doing things. So for me, it just was important for me to step back and just refocus on other things and
Yeah.
pour into my son more, and took family vacations. And
There you go.
I love that.
now I'm regrouped, back at the high school.
Mm-hmm.
I get to enjoy watching my son practice.
Yeah.
He was on the track team, but he ain't ready.
He ain't like it. He said, "No, I'm done." No.
So for him, so I had a lot of upperclassmen,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of my kids, like I said, are football, basketball,
Sure.
soccer. They're all upperclassmen that are fast.
Okay.
And I don't know about any other state, but Mississippi, you're only allowed 3
Yeah.
per meet.
Yeah.
So if you're not in the top 3, I really can't bring you.
Yeah.
And that's in any event. So for him, it was more so of getting in shape for football.
Right.
He's in a lot better shape.
Good.
I saw his body transform from in January to now. He picked up about 20 pounds.
Wow.
From football.
From January
running.
till now? Yeah, that's pretty good.
my
From
boy was
January
eating.
to
I
that's
know.
big.
Lifting.
He definitely went from, I think he weighed himself yesterday. He was around close to 160.
Oh wow.
And he was around 135. I'm not
That's a
kidding.
good
Yeah, I
growth.
think I
That's real good.
graduated high school around
Yeah, I
135.
watched his body. Yeah. He's gotten taller.
I got
And
me one.
I was looking at him like, okay. So I just wanted him to get faster. So he's not really ready. He'll be ready next year because all those seniors are gone. So
Yeah.
it'll be his time to shine. He'll be in 11th grade.
I think that's awesome,
That is
Mom.
awesome.
Well,
Well, what brought you back to coaching then?
That's what I was gonna ask next.
I always wanted to coach.
Okay.
Yeah, I coached. Like I said, I coached at the community college for 2-3 years before I moved back home. I coached for 3 years. I did a high jump 1 year. I did the long jump and triple jump, all the jumps the second year, and then third year I coached the sprints. So
Wow.
then I moved back here, sat out for a year. Opportunity came to where their head coach was leaving. I'm real good friends with the superintendent. He always wanted me to come back, and they called me up and asked, and I said,
all right. He's like, yeah, I'll do it.
All right. And
All right, so
what did it
my
give
second-
you? But what does coaching give you?
fulfillment. I love watching these kids succeed. I love it. Like them
Wow.
kids they're a joy to coach. They listen. And, you get some kids that just hard. I mean, you're gonna have your occasional knuckleheads. I had
Nature.
enough.
Yeah.
But the majority of the team, whatever I say, they buy into it. I say, y'all want to be good or you want to be great? We want to be
That's the
great. All right,
question.
all right.
That's it.
Let's listen.
That's right.
So
That's
they'll
right.
listen. We do college workouts. They run. They'll
There you
complain,
go.
and they complain. I mean, I complain. I was a
Yeah,
professional.
I still complain. I'm 40. I still talk
If
about
you're
it
not
now.
complaining, I don't know what I mean. I hear it. I was like, well, I
Right.
hear y'all, but get
But
on
I
the
did
line
it.
for the motivation.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
seriously,
right.
seriously.
Absolutely.
And you got your occasionals. They throw up afterwards. I said the trash can is right over
Wow.
there. You compose yourself.
I said, go on over there.
Hello.
Come back over here.
That's right.
Yeah,
Mental toughness.
it
Come
is
on.
what it is.
Get
It's
it right.
track. And
That's
I let
right.
them know
That's
it's
right.
track and field is not meant to be easy.
It is not easy.
But I guarantee you, and I tell them every year before we get started, you're not here to put in work. We're not here to play.
Right.
But if you're not here to put in work, then you don't need to be out here with us.
Period.
Absolutely.
And we make it fun. We play music out there. We let them give them their playlist. We got a big speaker.
Yeah.
Listen to music.
Yeah.
We run the beach. We go run on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
We run the football stadium.
Yep.
We do all single legs like we did at Ole Miss.
That's right, man. Listen.
By the way, she said these are fun things.
Well, but again, championship mindset.
That's right.
There's
right.
a few things I want to share before we go because we want to respect your time. But one thing is she's talking about what it really takes. And this is also what's unique about what we're seeing in sport today. I don't know if y'all noticed it, but these kids are going nuts.
Yeah, they are.
In track and field.
Yeah.
Record after record
Yeah.
after record.
Yeah.
Stuff that used to take 15 years to see. We were just
50.
talking about, there was a time where breaking 13 seconds in the hurdles was literally the top 5 in the world.
Yep.
Now you got girls about to break
12.5.
12-1.
I'm done. Not in high school.
No, that's college. I'm just simply
I was about to
saying.
say.
But just think about
Right.
how crazy this is.
Yeah.
We're in a totally different world because we
Yeah.
have coaches like Brittney
Come on,
Reese,
giving Olympic
who's
workouts.
been
these
there,
kids.
lived it, and now she's coaching them in
Coach
their
of the year.
developmental years.
Yeah.
When we didn't get this stuff until we were in our adult years.
Hyperstimulus.
So
Like,
I'm
that's
just saying that as well. People have to appreciate
Right.
also that sometimes things are hard, not because it's just a difficult task or challenge, but because you're getting it from someone who's already been there and done that.
Come on.
And you have to answer the question just like she said. You want to be good or you want to be great?
Right.
In our life, in fact, we have a registered mark that we literally trademarked, literally got this registered with the USPTO. And it's a simple question. Want to get better or not? I
Simple.
think that's what you have to ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to also, and this is the one thing I love about what you just said, and we've said this before, you have to embrace the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's hard.
Of course.
Yes, it hurts. Yes, there's gonna be some times where you're asking yourself, I can recollect every year how many times I was running around the track asking God, is this really what I want to keep doing?
Oh, man.
Exactly.
All the
Literally,
time.
while I'm running the laps, do I still want to do
Right.
this?
Track will do it.
But I had this thing on the inside where I
Mhm.
was able to recognize, but it was doing more for me than I may have been doing for it.
Right.
I didn't know where it would lead me, but as
Right.
long as I learned to discipline myself, control my emotions
Discipline.
now, focus on what I wanted, I could be a champion even if I wasn't a champion at the sport.
Mm.
So I want to take that from what Brittney just said because you've got to think of it that way.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll ask you, Brittney, before you go, what's next for Brittney Reese? When you look at the legacy you want to leave,
Yeah.
give us the rundown of what you see for yourself.
Hopefully still inspiring kids. So I just signed a deal with Tracktown USA.
Yeah,
I'll be
we
in
heard
there.
about that. Congratulations. You got to talk about
Yeah.
this.
So yeah, I just signed a deal with Tracktown USA, and I'll be at Prefontaine starting next week, doing engagement with youth and doing some stuff with the jumps and things like that, and then I'll be at the USA Trials the next end of June, the last 2 weeks of June. I'll be there for that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be collaborating with them on. So we have some merch that I have coming out.
Uh-oh.
It'll be announced later, but
See how she slid that in?
I know.
So
She's too
25
cool, man.
25% of the merch. So make sure y'all get this.
Okay.
Yes.
25% of the merch will go to unsponsored athletes to help them
Wow.
with their journey.
Oh, we got to sell that.
So-
we got to promote this.
So we're trying to
Yeah,
pour
we're gonna
into
promote this.
So that's my main goal right now is to not only level it but get it to where we're helping those unsponsored
Unsponsored
athletes
That's
because
right.
a lot of them don't get that chance.
At all.
Brittney, wow, how amazing is that?
That's huge.
For anyone listening, I hope that you just got something because it blessed me.
Yeah.
Because what we often forget and we often undercredit is the people who have the potential, have the talent. They just don't have the opportunity.
Come on.
They don't have the support.
Come on.
They're not the top 1%, but they would beat anybody on your block.
Yep.
They block the block over and the
Right.
next block down the street.
Right.
But they need someone to say, we see you.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's you. Maybe that's all that we should have been saying from the beginning. Maybe you're one of those that's like, I'm listening to Brittney. She's a champion. I'm listening to what you guys are saying. Look at the life that you created around you. But maybe you need to see that somebody sees you. So what I would tell you to do is change your focus. Start looking at the people that are behind you. Start looking at the people who do see greatness in you and start celebrating them. But also be honest enough to say, I need the support.
Yeah.
Man, what a
That's
great
huge. I love that.
program.
Definitely.
To not leave them by themselves.
Definitely. And we'll make sure we link that within this episode for sure so that there are supporters out in the world that say, yes, I'm the one that can actually help
That's right.
these athletes, because it's important.
It is. It's very important. It's tons of athletes that will make the team who are not even sponsored.
We didn't even talk about that.
We didn't even talk about that.
And the athletes that are Olympians that are homeless. Like my
gosh. Okay, well, how many minutes you got left? You got a few more minutes? Well, talk about that. I know usually we like to wrap up, but that's so
huge.
important that we can't skip it. Could you talk about that for a minute? Because we know people for a fact that would travel overseas with no money, unsponsored, and they were squatting or finding a place to stay when they got there because they had no sponsor.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the reality.
Things have kind of changed since I was there, but there'll be tons of athletes that will pour in their life savings. Like, we're in Olympic year.
Yeah.
And they're believing in themselves on making this team.
Right.
They will pour their life savings. Now I'm gonna break down probably the numbers of how much money they are about to come out.
Talk about it, Coach.
So you have to think about a flight. And you're gonna fly into Eugene, which is a small airport.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have that opportunity to fly into Eugene, you fly into Portland, which is 2 hours away. Rent a car, or you can get on a train. So let's just roughly say that's about $700, just off top because it's a small airport. You're gonna go to a hotel that's about to upcharge you.
Of course,
man.
And if you are a sprinter that runs the 1 and the 2, guess where you about to be? 2 weeks worth of a room that's going to cost you about $300.
Yep.
And that's cheap. That's the cheap hotel room.
That's the cheapest.
Yeah.
And that might be, and what I've learned, a lot of the athletes that are unsponsored, they get together and they get a room together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
split the cost.
But
right.
2 weeks.
You're still going to pay about $300-$400 for a room.
Per night.
Per night.
Ain't 8.
Yep. That's not food. She said, you ain't 8.
You ain't 8.
So southern.
You ain't 8. It's Oregon. It ain't cheap neither. So,
and
those athletes going to come out about $4,000 probably minimum.
Before competing. Right. Okay.
While trying to be ready.
Oh, trying.
And hoping that nothing happens while you're up there training and practicing.
Hoping you have an apartment when you get back. Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. It's insane. And that's not even, you didn't even break down the professional circuit and what that looks like.
That was just
overseas.
The Olympic trials.
That's
overseas.
a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a good agent, you ain't going overseas.
That's true. You're right.
How?
So you in here spending all your money in the USA.
Broke.
Can't really work. You're trying to work, but the money you got to pay rent, but you can't pay rent because now you got to pay to travel to go compete for the chance of a dream that will likely never happen.
Ever.
But you have to believe
Some
yourself.
have not regular 9 to 5s.
Oh, man. Regular 9 to 5.
Then they have to come off of work and go train when they get off.
Yeah.
And don't even have a child. Don't be a mother or
Don't
father.
have no kids or anything. Yeah, and if you got kids, 10 times worse.
Even worse.
You know, I can share just real quick a little. This is personal for me because I actually lived this. And it was funny. Coach Walker, of all people, actually told me that I had it to go pro too. And it was in my first year out, because at that point in time where I was jumping was in the top 25 in the world. We didn't have some of the same people like the Moffats and Levon Sands that would jump 28 feet, Savante Stringfellow. We didn't have that then. So he said, Baylor, I think you could do this. My first year, and this is how crazy it is, I was working a 9 to 5 for a company that paid me for marketing. I was literally in an office, corporate office, communications, and I had to leave work around 3:30, 4 o'clock just to go to the track, to go train. Then I had my weight program. Ole Miss would send it to me. I'm following it every single day. Rain, sleet, a little bit of snow, it didn't matter. I had to do this. Now watch this. I went through all that. And the first appearance I ever made as a semi-professional, literally, I told this story on the show before. I was still ranked in the top in the world this time. I tore my Achilles, first meet of the season, indoor.
LSU.
And if I had not had a 9 to 5, bless God that gave me insurance.
Man.
I probably would still be paying off some of these medical bills and the therapy and the training. So to Brittney's point earlier, this is why you have to have a backup plan. Always. It's not saying plan B in case A doesn't work. What we're saying is you're more than what you can do on the field. You're more than your sport.
That's right.
And you're more than what you do in the office if you're a leader in business. But you need to be prepared, preparing your mind, keeping an honest look at what you're doing, knowing this is a dream, but you're also living in reality. So having that.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just thought I would share that because
I love that.
It was real.
Yeah, it is real. And you know what's so interesting? Even with NIL, that has changed so many things. That's changed the game for a lot of athletes. But here's a beautiful thing. Why not take sponsorships and deals, like if you can have a choice, and create legacy with that? So many times athletes will just join whatever pays the most and then they'll be decorated with whatever endorsement or sponsorship. But if you can create something, that's another way. If you can create a brand, if you can trademark things, if you could do things and think in advance as a child, you can support your future in ways that you never even dreamed of. You can set your legacy up like that, you know? But it's the thinking, number one, that starts that. And it's people like us having this conversation that we can share this episode and help others understand, number one, the reality of true sport, the reality of what a champion goes through, and the reality of decisions that you have to make to invest in yourself now. Period. So Brittney, we are honored.
Yeah, girl.
Honored to celebrate your life.
Super honored.
Honored to celebrate the sacrifices that you made, the choices that you made to put family first and also put lives and coaching first. Like, you're making other athletes great, and you never know if they're taking the torch that you put down and are going to supersede that in the future. So thank you. Aww.
Oh, that's right, girl. I don't think I ever seen Brittney cry.
Well, you couldn't bring that. Anyway.
She's tough
now.
But
we're so honored. I know, but there's still a beautiful gem inside
woman.
of her.
I've always loved
We're
Brittney.
so grateful. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all that you've contributed to our sport. Your name is still great in lights. And then also thank you for pouring into the generations past and also future. So thank you.
Yeah, girl.
Appreciate you guys.
Of course.
So where can they find you real quick? I know you don't love social media, but you got some management.
Yeah, I got it, but I don't love it. But you can find me on Instagram, the LJ Beast, and then on Twitter,
the LJ Beast.
Or X. I'm sorry, X.
Okay, yeah, I know, right? There's so many of them out there now. Holy crap. And where can they find out more about what you're doing with Tracktown USA?
So if you follow on my Instagram, we'll be more so announcing things as they come. Okay. So next week will be a lot more things coming out.
You got it. Well, you heard it from here, Coach. You want to close us out?
Yeah, I'm so grateful. Like I was in a moment of gratitude, so you kind of caught me there. I mean, you got it. So I'm thinking about Tracktown. Like, that's a huge deal. Tracktown is in Oregon, you guys, USA, and it's such an honor, man. Like, what you're going to do is just going to supersede so much in this realm of track and field.
Change the game.
So you close it, because I'm in a moment.
Well, guys, we hope that you've loved what you've heard, and of course, you can find B. Reese, the LJ Beast, on social. This is one of our great friends. We hope that you understand how rare this is, because as she made sure to tell us clearly, I'm gonna just do this.
Ooh.
So she made time not just for us, but for you,
because
of our relationship. But we hope that it means something to you as you listen. And of course, we always tell you, like,
yes,
subscribe,
yes,
share, all right? And please, if you need a keynote speaker or if you need someone like Brittney had in her life, coaches that will help you lock back into who you are you can be all that you are wherever you are, that's what we do. Come on, look at this energy. We live in this every day, and we can't wait to give it to you. So without further ado, we'll see you next time.